Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
You know what? The narratives and the two-facedness in boxing is just outstanding lately. And it's all coming from the same corner as in the Wildettes. It's all coming from there. For the longest time, they've been saying how Dillian Whyte is trash. Dillian Whyte is this. Dillian Whyte is that. Dillian Whyte ain't good enough to lace the boots of Deontay Wilder. He fights Lucas Brown. Man, he's crap. He beat up a podgy, out-of-shape guy. He beats Joseph Parker. Well, Joseph Parker was overrated. He gets a rematch with Derek Chisora. Well, first time he lost to Derek Chisora, he went life and death. And this one, nobody cares about this fight. Suddenly now that Dillian Whyte goes over and is rumouredly talking with Haymon. Now, he may well be, and he's free to do so. Suddenly now, the Wildettes are, yeah, Dillian Whyte's a really good fighter. Him versus Wilder will be a really good fight. But that's not what you were saying like only a couple of months ago. The two-faced lie, it's a blatant anti-matchroom thing. That's what it is. Because these clowns, you see, they don't have the intelligence to know exactly what it is that's going on. Do you really, really believe that if Dillian Whyte does sign with Haymon, that he's going to leave Eddie Hearn? Listen, it may happen, but he doesn't have to. Plenty of fighters all over the place have been represented by Haymon, but still fight on other networks. Look at Daniel Jacobs. He still has Haymon as an advisor. Guess what? He fights on Matchroom USA shows on DAZN, does he not? Dillian Whyte has already said, I'm loyal to Sky Sports. I'm loyal to Eddie Hearn. Together, we have built a pay-per-view platform. Yes, he's not happy with the offer that's come from Anthony Joshua. And he's entitled to be unhappy or happy. He knows his own worth. But these people now, in fact, even Wilder, he says, well, if Dillian Whyte goes to Haymon on the PBC, then that makes our fight a little bit easier to make, a little bit closer. Again, this is the same guy who's calling Dillian Whyte a spare wheel, who's insulting Dillian Whyte, right? But suddenly now, well, you know what? If he leaves Eddie Hearn and goes to PBC, then this fight can be made. What the hell are you talking about? All he's got to do is fight Brazil, whether he's with Matchroom or whether he's with Haymon, makes no difference. All he's got to do is fight and beat Brazil, and you have to fight him next anyway. You have no choice. There's no getting out of it. Well, you can vacate the belt. But Dillian Whyte being with the PBC doesn't make that fight easier, and it doesn't make it harder. It just doesn't. For a voluntary, sure, because Wilder has quite blatantly said, in not so many words, he's refusing to fight any Matchroom fighters. And all the Wildettes who's been chastising Dillian Whyte for like a long time, because Dillian Whyte responded on Instagram that I would chase you till the ends of the earth to get you in that ring. Dillian Whyte has been calling Deontay Wilder a ducker, a coward. He was on my channel only 2 weeks ago, and we were laughing about Deontay Wilder. And now these guys are saying, well, yeah, that's the kind of talk that we like. We like the fact that Dillian Whyte is chasing Deontay Wilder. See, that's a real fighter. Yeah, you're right, it is. But guess what? He's been doing it for freaking 2 years. This isn't something new. And when he was doing it, you guys were telling him to shut up and stay in his lane. The two-facedness, really. Listen, if Dillian Whyte signs with Haymon and PBC, good on him. Dillian Whyte is a very, very intelligent guy. He knows what's best for his career. He's in charge of his own shows. Being with Matchroom makes him in charge of his own shows. Okay? He chooses who's on the undercard. He spreads out the budget. He does all of that. Eddie Hearn does whatever Dillian Whyte tells him to do, much like with Joshua. Joshua tells Eddie Hearn whatever it is to do. With the PBC, it doesn't work that way. Wilder versus Fury, Wilder didn't own that event. He didn't choose who was on the undercard. He can suggest and may have a little bit of sway, but ultimately, it's down to the PBC. So if Dillian Whyte fights Wilder, guess what? He's not going to get any kind of better split, because if he fights Dominic Brazil, and becomes mandatory for Wilder, if Wilder was to get past Fury, of course, is 30% anyway. Doesn't matter what company he's with, it's 30%. And he doesn't get to choose who's on the undercard. Dillian Whyte manages a couple of fighters. In Fabio Wardley, in Richard Ricky Poré. He will have no say about these guys potentially going on his undercard. He's good friends with Spider Richards and others. But if you go to the PBC and you fight on a PBC show, he doesn't get to choose who's on the undercard. He gets told who's on the undercard. With Matchroom, he chooses. But again, don't forget, with this in mind, with the fact that he does own the shows, okay? For example, when he took on Derek Chisora last time, he chose Showtime. Not Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn had nothing to do with it. He chose Showtime to air his fight. He chose Showtime over DAZN. So again, people are saying that he's definitely going to sign with Al Haymon. You don't know that. It's just fake news until Dillian Whyte says he's going to. And if he does, great. If he doesn't, great. Whichever. I'll support Dillian no matter what. But to come out and say that he's definitely doing it, he's going to sign a 3-fight deal or a 3-year deal, or stop lying. Stop lying. And why are you guys saying how great Dillian Whyte is because Dillian Whyte is talking like a real fighting man and how him versus Wilder is a great fight? 2 months ago, you were chastising Dillian Whyte for saying exactly what he's been saying now. It goes to show you the two-faced narrative. These people are PBC fanboys. That's all they are. They're fanboys. And because Deontay Wilder said, yeah, it's a good move for Dillian Whyte. Hey, listen, it could be a good move for Dillian Whyte. It could very well be. But suddenly now, Wilder's fans are, yeah, we like Dillian Whyte. We support Dillian Whyte. Why? Because Dillian Whyte is chastising Joshua. Guess what? Newsflash. He's always chastised Joshua. Him and Joshua have never been friends. They support each other because they're British comrades. Whenever Joshua fights, Dillian wants Joshua to win because he's British, not because he likes him. When Dillian Whyte fights, Joshua wants Dillian Whyte to win, except against Derek Chisora because he's closer with Derek Chisora. A little while ago, when there was talks about Deontay Wilder, when he turned down $8 million to fight Dillian Whyte, and all the Wildettes are, no, Wilder shouldn't take that fight. Why should he take that fight? Dillian Whyte hasn't earned it. Suddenly, what, now he's earned it? And Anthony Joshua said then, you put Dillian Whyte in the ring with Wilder, he knocks Wilder smooth out. That's what Joshua said. And now suddenly, these people want to support Whyte. Hey, great. As far as Dillian Whyte goes, that's great. That's a bigger fan base. But it's a fake fan base. You're only doing it to be anti-Eddie Hearn. This is what I mean. The whole point of this is two-facedness. Dillian Whyte knows. Don't think he doesn't know who's who over there and who's been chastising him and insulting him. He knows. He's a pretty regular watcher of YouTube. He knows. The two-facedness in boxing is unbelievable. Unbelievable. It really is. Everything for Wilder, a guy who's been lurking in the shadows for years, never stepped up. Dillian Whyte has a better resume than Wilder. Anthony Joshua has a better resume than Wilder. Tyson Fury has a better resume than Wilder and beat Wilder. We have 3 Brits. 1, 2, 3 ranked in the world. Wilder shouldn't be ranked above none of them. None of them. But he only is because he holds that belt, because he's been holding it hostage. Suddenly now, all the PBC fanboys, because potentially Dillian Whyte is talking with the PBC. As I said, Dillian Whyte knows what's best for his career, but he manages his own career. He knows where his bread is buttered. Him going to the PBC isn't going to earn him more money. Him going to the PBC isn't going to get him a bigger split with Joshua, even if he doesn't take the fight with Joshua now and does actually become WBO mandatory, if Alexander Usyk doesn't get that first. Then whatever the percentage split is for mandatory, that's what the percentage split will be. Whether he's with Eddie Hearn, whether he's with Al Haymon, even if he's with Frank Warren or David Haye or Bob Arum, whatever it may be, it's still exactly the same. Exactly the same. So you PBC fanboys have no idea what it is that you're talking about. And I'm pretty sure if it turns out that Dillian Whyte does not sign with Al Haymon, you'll be back on there chastising him again and saying how he hasn't earned it, how he's overrated, and how he needs to keep Wilder out of his mouth. Because you guys have been protecting Wilder for Dillian Whyte for a long, long time. For a long, long time. Absolute clowns, really. Absolute clowns. Anyway, as I said, Dillian Whyte can do whatever he likes. He's an intelligent guy. He knows what's best for his career. If he chooses to go with Al Haymon, whether it be as an advisor, whether it be that he's giving the PBC or Showtime even authorization to show his next 3, 4, 5 fights, whatever it may be, Dillian Whyte can do that. He knows what's best. He knows what's best. Do you really think he has any kind of loyalty towards DAZN? DAZN were messing him about with the whole Chisora thing. Why do you think he chose Showtime? So until everything goes on, all of these rumours, all these videos popping up, it's all fake news. Fake news. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.